emo starts and current stage.
Welcome everyone back to another episode of Pressed and Pressing. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Cy Pressed. And today we have a lovely guest with us today. You met her last episode, but we're going to get to know her a lot better. Mama D, welcome to Pressed and Pressing.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So, yes, we talked about you last week, but now we get to actually meet you.
Yes.
What was it like being on the premiere episode of Pressed and Pressing?
Well, it brought back a memory that I had, but I couldn't remember specifically who with. It brought back some memories of college, which we will continue today. Good times. So I love you guys. So I was, just happy to see y'all.
Yes. So today's theme, which was given to us by Mama D, is spooky, but make it drag. I think it's relevant because probably I think we did the most extravagant things for Halloween back in time. Like, I feel like that was a lot of it.
Yes, 100%. I mean, we both have dark and spooky natures. In more recent years, I have decided to let mine fly more freely and sharing. So hence, the purple hair and lots of tattoos and,
No, where me and Mama D are in a contest to see who can have the most tattoos the quickest. I was in the lead for a very short amount of time, and I have now been overtaken in the. I'm pretty sure you're beating me now in the tattoo race. Wait, say again.
13.
Yeah, I'm at 10, so you are now leading me.
There we go.
So we always like to start on Pressed and Pressing with, what type of look are you going for today? Give us an idea about what we're going to see at the end.
So it is goth, but make it drag. So my usual goth makeup, but more flair, more flamboyance. So a lot of black eyeliner. We're going to throw back to 2005, which is where I am kind of permanently stuck. And that is what we're going for. How about you?
We're kind of a black glitter and orange glitter vibe.
All right.
Don't know the word of editing, so we will see what ends up being. We'll see what happens.
Sometimes you start a look with an idea and then the makeup just takes you elsewhere. So.
And I've just chosen to don't have any ideas or expectations and see what pops up on your face.
There you go.
So
I'm okay with that.
So, starting our conversation today, first off, my first question is going to be, what is spooky?
I mean, spooky is kind of whatever you want it to be, because things that really aren't very spooky to me are very spooky to others. And I think that comes from spending so much of my time since, early childhood in alternative culture. So, I say spooky in like a good way. It's not a bad thing to me.
I agree. Just another way to say, like, what type of vibe I'm going for. What am I? What am I? How does my inner aesthetic become my outer aesthetic?
Yes. Which is what I've been trying to live by in more recent years, try to be more authentic to who I am instead of what I think that I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And spooky just happens to be one of those things.
And that's okay. We can all be spooky in our own ways.
I like it.
What do you think was your introduction to spooky?
The fact that I wasn't allowed to be spooky as a child. So being raised in a strict Southern Baptist home, and not being encouraged to participate in Halloween, but seeing like my older cousins participate, and that really, childhood rebellion type of vibe. My older cousins showed me Carrie when I was 5. I don't think that helped.
That feels age.
I mean, pretty much so. It makes sense looking at me now. Yeah, so it started there, and then I fell very heavily into the emo culture, as many of us did. In the early 2000s, I found bands like My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy, and those were kind of my introductions into the alternative world other than like visual media.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt at home in those music places, So yeah.
I mean, did we not all have a crush on Gerard Way when we were of a certain age? Did that not all happen?
Listen, that man could still get it. He is 41. He could still get it any day of the week.
You heard it here first. Gerard Way, if you're listening, you heard it.
But to be completely fair, Frank Iero is and always has been a man.
Yeah.
I may have, 4 of my 13 tattoos because of his solo music alone.
Interestingly, even though I was extremely gay as a child, my first crush was the lead singer of Evanescence.
Yes, Amy Lee.
Amy Lee, God, yes. Followed by Paramore.
Haley Williams, 2 of my girls.
And not just Amy Williams, not just Haley, the entire Paramore.
The thing is, looking back on just how much I was obsessed with both of them, as well as Lacey Mosley from Flyleaf, excuse me, all of them, and the way that I idolized them, I totally was very gay at a very young age, and just did not realize it. I thought that everybody had crushes on people like that.
Well,
it turns out they don't.
Only the cool kids did. So I really resonated with the comment about not being allowed to do Halloween when you were a kid, because for Halloween, for many years, we didn't do Halloween. That was a Devil's Night. What we did was Fall Festival.
Yes, trunk or treat at the church.
Yes, coming to the church, but we were only allowed to dress as biblical or Black history.
Oh, okay. We were allowed a little bit more freedom in that. I definitely dressed up as a Pokemon, because your girl was obsessed with Pokemon from ages 6 to 9. So I was allowed to dress as Pokemon.
We called them Pocket Satans.
See, that was Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
We were okay with Pokemon. They were just animals. That was just animals. But, Yu-Gi-Oh, she wasn't allowed.
No. Who's heard of her? Except I was the kid on the bus in the morning that would cheat at your Yu-Gi-Oh matches and steal your best card.
Oh my God.
So basically a drag.
I just never did. I was too afraid. I was very afraid of my parents. Not that my mom would have done anything, but I didn't want to disappoint her because she's kind of my favorite person.
what's interesting is that my mom would buy me Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
Buy me Yu-Gi-Oh
Oh,
cards, but
okay.
allow me to buy my own Yu-Gi-Oh cards if I so chose
Okay.
to do that way.
See, like, I wasn't allowed to have, like, there was no Harry Potter in our house whatsoever. I did not actually read the books until this year because I'm very into reading. I'm constantly reading something. And, you know, I was like, it's time. And I finally did it. And, you know, I'm a little sad. And I expressed that to my mom. I was like, you know, you kept me from having this really normal part of my childhood. And I know that you were just following what you were told was right. But it's so innocent. I mean, hell, I was in 7th grade, 8th grade reading Twilight. And there were vampire sex scenes in that.
Yes, it's Mormon porn. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing even close to that in Harry Potter.
Oh, no. I mean...
I was like, Mom, it was so innocent. You just didn't, you never gave it a chance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So...
While Harry Potter was not banned in my household, it was banned in my high school. And I didn't go to a Catholic high school like some other people did on the call.
Right.
I went to a public...
Which is really... Did they ban stuff like Twilight, too?
No, Twilight was not banned.
Huh.
Twilight was fine.
That is just
Harry
so interesting.
And Lord of the Rings was banned.
I find that really interesting, especially because for my very strict Christian school, The Hobbit was on our reading list for the summer.
Yeah. Now, The Hobbit wasn't banned. Actual Lord of the Rings trilogy was banned.
Because that makes sense.
Yes, I mean, try to make fanaticism make sense and you will get a headache.
I can't do it. The mental gymnastics.
So, a major part of the joy that is Halloween, costumes.
Yes.
Let's chat.
Yes. So we did a lot of fun costumes, especially in college when we met.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, our first Halloween was when we were first starting to become good friends, because you didn't like me at first.
True. This is accurate, but give the children context.
I mean, you have to give context for that, because I was very naive coming into college. So
And
I
there
was just here for a good
is the context.
I was time.
No, that's not 100% accurate. Really, a part of it was so the Eternal Mother last week alluded to this, that there were a lot of factions at play in our undergrad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I entered our undergrad, our special honors college, I kind of developed my own faction relatively quickly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Mama D...
And I was another group of a bunch of gays.
Yep. Entirely separate faction that was not the faction that I was in charge of. And
Right.
that didn't fly. And if this sounds like West Side Story, you are correct.
Well, and then there were other people that were in play that didn't want us to become friendly. You know, it was stupid high school bullshit carried into college. Because we were, at the time, it was first semester, freshman year. And so we were still very young. I mean, I was 17. I was a child.
I was not an adult.
I mean, it was just still, none of us were, we were young. So, But that first Halloween, I think I had a total, I can't entirely remember. I know there were at least 3, but I want to say that there was a 4th.
I'm trying to remember. Was that the year I did him for the murder at Morrison?
I think so.
So for context, every year at Halloween, our college had it was called the Murder at Morrison, which was the building that our school was housed in. And it was basically a costume contest with different categories. And one of them was the impersonation one, where you dressed up as someone, either a professor or someone that worked in the building.
And then you were that person for the murder mystery aspect.
Right. Which was fun. There were other things like best pun,
yes,
costume all around, best group costume.
Yes. That wasn't the year with the boys dressing as like the Greek gods, was it?
No, that was sophomore year.
That's what I thought.
So it was fun. It was cute.
Yeah.
The pop-up.
That was the year horror for the first time.
Say what?
That was the year that we went to Rocky Horror for the first time.
Was the first time we went to Rocky Horror. Now, Rocky
That
Horror
was
undergrad was a treat.
It was wonderful, especially for being in such a small town in BFE, Louisiana. The amount of queerness that was accepted during Halloween was astounding.
Accepted, explored, celebrated in some circles.
Mm-hmm. Especially like the honors college and like the theater circles, which is mainly where we were.
And the best part about that, which was also, I think, the same year that we both kind of dressed as Magenta.
We did!
Less clothing than you did.
I mean, yes. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Speaking of, to throw back to Brent from last episode.
Oh, Brent.
I had to peel a banana. So we were both Rocky Horror virgins. So we got pulled up on stage for if you're not aware, so Rocky Horror Picture Show does preview games where before the show actually starts, if you're a virgin, you've never seen a show live before, they'll put a V on your head in red lipstick, and they will bring you on stage for different games. You're not forced into it, but it's so much fun. We got pulled up for this game to deep throat a banana. That's what it was. And it was, who could do it, who could go the deepest, the quickest. And Brent got pulled on stage with us, bless his heart, and he didn't know how to peel a banana. I'm like, bro, you're a freshman in college. I'm like concerned, but then this girl, she was my hero that night. She took that banana, unwrapped that thing, slid that all the way down her throat, pulled it right back out, and then said, okay, where's my prize? I was both in awe and afraid of her power.
Absolutely.
The big dick that she exuded.
There's something to be feared and respected about someone that can do that.
Yeah. I was.
That Brent was going to become a recurring character on Pressed and.
I would not have. Bless him. I hope he's well. He seems like he's well.
I no longer have social media, except for my drag Instagram. Follow me at Miss Cypressed. Otherwise, yes, shameless plug. It's my show. Who cares?
It is so. I have too much social media.
I depend on you to keep me updated on all things Twitter and TikTok.
Yep, I've got you there. That was also the year that I dressed as Sally, and got your roommate B to join me as Jack.
Yes. Yes. Which one day when we do a team episode where it's me, you, and the Eternal Mother, we will have to discuss the drama that was that.
Oh, God. Can we just talk about the makeup and the fact that it took me hours and it got ruined because of dumb boy and my best friend from high school having to go and defend her honor?
Yes. That was a Halloween for the books.
That really was. But, I mean, I feel like it kind of solidified our friendship a little bit.
It did in a lot of ways. I think it was also the first time that we spent actual time together, not with other people around. Well, that's not true. It was a party. But other than, like, other people that didn't want us to be near each other around.
Right.
So I think that was
and then you realized I was sad.
So, question. Rapid fire question. Favorite costume ever, go.
Okay, wait. So hold on. Questions about that. Like costume idea, costume that I have planned, costume that I have done, costume that I have seen done.
Part 1, costume that you've done. And then part 2, what you dream to do.
Okay, so I'm going to say costume that I have done would be the many iterations of Sally, because I have done many. Being who I am as a person, The Nightmare Before Christmas has always been one of my favorite movies. And so I really love to explore makeup. And so I really enjoyed doing that through Sally. I dressed as her that freshman year with a dress that I hand sewed and did hours on my makeup. But then I've also done costumes that I've bought and then just done a bunch of really fun makeup. I did that on my honeymoon. We went to Disney World during Halloween and dressed as Jack and Sally there as well because my spouse loves me and went along with my idea.
Shout out.
So that is. Wait, I'm sorry. I cut you off. What was that?
Shout out to Hubby D.
Yes, yeah. He's pretty wonderful and deals with my shenanigans, so we appreciate him for that. So yeah, that would be my favorite that I have done. My idea and plan, I don't think it's going to happen this Halloween because I don't think that this Halloween is going to happen. Sorry, guys. But next Halloween, I plan on going as Nadia from What We Do in the Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just one of my favorite characters in television right now. And she fits my aesthetic.
We do it for the aesthetic.
Yes. Okay, what about you?
Favorite costume I ever done was actually probably one I did in high school.
Okay.
I did one of Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
And I got a see-through mask from Walmart and covered it in red and white paint. And it was only half of my face. And then I had a black wig that I wore on the other side of my face that just kind of hung down. Very creepy. And it was also probably like one of the first costumes I really put effort into doing.
Yes.
So that's probably one of my favorite costumes I've ever done.
Uh-huh.
I think if I'm thinking about what is a dream costume, that's a harder one. I have a couple.
Right. Sure.
They're both kind of high nerd. So one, I've always wanted to go as Byakuya Kuchiki from the Bleach series.
Okay.
Those of you that don't know who that is, I will put a picture of Byakuya somewhere in this video. Okay. And then the other one that I've always kind of want to do, but it needs to be done a very specific way for me to be happy with it, is Poison Ivy.
Okay. Poison Ivy. Love it.
But it needs to be like instantly recognizable Ivy. Like, I don't want any illusions that I'm just a green person. Like, it needs to be true Poison Ivy.
Right.
Uma Thurman level Poison Ivy.
Love it.
Do you have a favorite spooky queen?
My favorite queen is not spooky.
Hmm.
So my favorite queen is Alyssa Edwards.
Yeah.
I just really love her. She's so funny. Like, I quote her on the daily. I am constantly looking around going, what the fuck is going on in here on this day? Because I never know. I don't know what's happening anymore.
I think my favorite is just Beast. It's so good.
It's so stupid.
So good.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think I have a favorite spooky queen necessarily. I really do like She and how out there she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Seattle drag artist that isn't like as mainstream, but her Instagram is very good. Go follow her.
My favorite spooky queen would have to be, was not necessarily my favorite queen, but definitely a queen I enjoy, would definitely have to be a tie between Evie Oddly and Sharon Needles.
You know, Sharon Needles, she just has done it for so long. You know?
So long and so well. She's the OG spooky queen on Drag Race.
Right. She definitely paved the way in that aspect for other queens to come after her.
I appreciate that. I think it was hard for queens with a different aesthetic to really get a start on Drag Race. And
right. And it's like the stereotypical, like, pretty drag.
Right. Sharon was really one that came in and was like, I'm just not going to do that.
Right. I do appreciate that a lot. Because, you know, as an alternative person, you know, having people that little alt kids can look up to is really important.
It is. Representation is important in almost every way.
I totally agree.
Ah! Never will do this wrong.
It happens to the best of us.
You know, professional drag queen over here, LOL, and cannot get an internal eye line correct, then that's fine. That is okay. You're gonna make it work. There we go.
Work.
Speak.
Angelica! Told you, too much Hamilton.
Is there ever too much Hamilton, though?
If you ask my coworkers, yes.
They just need to get on your Hamilton level. That's all that needs to happen.
I mean, I've tried to get some of them. Actually, I watched it with one of them. And so she at least understands.
Good.
Also, shout out to KK, because she's very excited to see how this turns out.
Adding more people to the pressed and pressing family. Excellent.
Absolutely. How would you characterize your spookiness?
Um, I think my spookiness falls under the label of mm, uh, glam spook.
Okay.
It's spooky, but sparkly.
We love sparkle. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I think I've always wanted my spook to come from a place of raising a question mark about it.
Uh-huh. Right.
And I think I achieved that pretty well in most ways. Of just
I totally agree.
people look and they're like, what exactly is happening here? I'm like, yes, that's the exact reason I was going for. So I feel like no conversation about Halloween is complete without a slight discussion of everyone's favorite topic of Halloween, cultural appropriation.
Ooh.
And I think
So, I mean, no, go on ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's a hot topic, and I think it's that piece around where does the line between appropriation and appreciation stand?
So, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Someone's culture is not your costume. So, if you're taking like a Native American regalia and calling it a costume, like that's pretty insulting, especially considering, we murdered them in mass and, their children were not allowed to wear their traditional clothing in schools here. So I just think that using that like as like a costume is really disrespectful. But there are some cultures that are very welcoming of people sharing their culture. A lot of the time, different Asian cultures are very happy to share their outfits and whatnot. And so, I mean, you just need to be respectful and ask the people that are actually in the culture that you are wanting to emulate.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and also be careful of the trap of just because one person of that culture agrees does not mean that all will.
Yes, absolutely. And if somebody calls you out on it, accept it. Just go with it. Like, be like, yo, I'm really sorry. Like, own up to your mistake and fix it. Like, mistakes will happen, especially being an ally. Like, as a white person, I have made mistakes in being an ally because I am not a perfect ally and I will never be. But it's all about growth, and it's all about listening to people of color and marginalized people and making sure that you are actually listening to them and amplifying their voices instead of speaking over them.
Mm-hmm. Which is very relevant in the current climate of just, voices that have been systemically silenced now being heard, but sometimes being heard and that's it, right? There's listening, there's, oh, we're sorry, oh, we need to change that, and then nothing moves from that point. That's as far as we get it.
Right.
As I'm sure you've heard, the Washington football team, as they are now called, until they pick an action.
Yes.
And it's just fascinating because of how long Native people have been saying, please stop calling yourselves this. This is offensive and bad.
Right, like it's really disrespectful. They knew better.
Yes, and I think that's the crazy part. Like, it's not even the idea that like, oh, we didn't know better. You did. You just chose to ignore it.
Right.
So that's interesting. So, what is your, if you had a top 5 list of costumes that need to be canceled and never come back, what would be on it?
God, there's so many. Okay, so we'll start with Native American regalia.
Mm-hmm.
that just needs to go away. Blackface, hello. It is 2020. This should not be a thing. It is a thing.
Talking about this in 2020. How is blackface still a viable option in people's minds?
I don't know. It does not make sense to me. My mind cannot compute. Nor can it compute whenever people are like, it's just a costume. Like, somebody's skin color is not a fucking costume. Sorry. I just get really mad about fellow white people and the fact that we need to do better.
Mm-hmm. I think the Indian harem costume needs to go away.
Yeah.
Which I know between the Indian harem costume and the belly dancing costume. But I think you can do belly dancing in a way that isn't cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
But
But if you're doing with explicit sexual overtones of like being in a harem type of thing.
Yes. That I can't. I can't stand it. I hate it.
It's a very reductionist.
Very much so. Also, like, people just wearing bindi for no reason.
Yes. Looking at you, Goth. I've seen a lot of Goth people try to be like, well, it's just an accessory. Like,
Yes, but it's not your accessory.
Nope. I was gonna say, like, trans people.
Mm-hmm.
After Caitlyn came out, I saw that those people that went to college with us dressed as Caitlyn pre and post transition. Guys.
Yes. And I don't like the excuse, no, I'm dressing up as an Olympian. Then dress as an Olympian.
That's it.
There's no need to dead name or dead face someone for
no. And listen, I'm not saying you have to like her. Just don't be an asshole.
Very much that. There is no need to dislike her. And also, your dislike of someone does not mean you get to use their dead name. Also, for all the Scarlett Johanssons in the world, can we please stop doing Asian face for anime characters?
Yes, because you can absolutely dress up as an anime character without yellow face. Like, stop changing your skin color. Just fucking stop. Stop it.
Stop changing your skin color. Stop changing your eye shape. Stop. Just stop. We do not need to tape our eyes down to look like a robot from the year 1774 or whatever.
Absolutely not.
Okay, controversial question.
Uh-huh.
Is there an upper age limit to being able to trick or treat?
No. Hard and fast, no. Especially for kids that are neurodivergent, that may not mentally be the age that they physically are. So, I mean, if a 20-year-old still has the mentality of a 6-year-old, why would you tell them that they're not allowed to trick or treat and, dress up and go get candy?
Just have a good time.
Like, you're giving free candy out to kids. Why would you be mad if somebody is a little older than you think that they should be?
What do you think
You're the one that's giving out free.
What do you think about adult trick-or-treating nights?
I mean, I really don't have a problem with it as long as you're, like, not messing with kids and not interfering with their time. I have no problem with it. I feel like every time that I put on mascara, I feel like Charlotte from The Princess and the Frog. That wishing on stars with her babies and crazy people.
Oh, Charlotte is a treat in that movie. Like, I think she's an underrated character in that movie.
I found people online slandering her recently and calling her a white savior. And I'm like, excuse me? Then you obviously did not pay attention to the movie? That is her best. That is her best friend, okay?
In the time of racism.
And Charlotte was always there to support Tiana and vice versa. I'm very happy that Tiana is getting the recognition she so much deserves with the revamp.
Yes, I heard about this. They're going to turn what ride into Tiana's ride?
So, Splash Mountain is getting remade because of the, racistness of the Briar Rose story, or not the Briar Rose, that's Aurora, of the Briar Rabbit story.
Right.
So they are taking down Splash Mountain's characters and stuff, and they are making it now going to be The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which, as people from Louisiana, I'm really excited to see our culture represented.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the best joke in the entire movie is one that if you're not from Louisiana, you will never understand. But when Raymond...
No, but...
Tiana and Naveen, and they say that we're not from here, and he says, "Go to bed. Y'all from Shreveport."
Yeah, we're from a land far, far away.
Dying, literally dying every time I hear it.
It was even funnier whenever I went to nursing school in Shreveport, and being from, an hour south of New Orleans, and it is a very long way away. It's like a good 6 hours if there's no traffic. So it was just very funny. It's little tidbits like that, for people from there, So
it looks like we are both about done. Time to do setting spray. I'm gonna go put something on my head, and we'll be right back to do a reveal.
Perfect.
And we're back. The hair is on, the makeup is complete, the fantasy is alive. Darling, let us walk us through this makeup. Dee, take us through what you did.
Okay, so we have some purple on my eyes as a transition shade in the crease to match my newly purpled, again, hair. I have a flare eyeliner that is brought down, and then a red top lip and a red bottom lip as a nod to my emo start and current stage in my life, because we still haven't left.
Baby,
so that's where we are.
If you stay emo, you don't gotta get emo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just here. It's here. It's not going anywhere.
Well, I have done a red and black eye look for everyone.
Yeah.
With a highlighting pink shimmer on the top. I went with a large red lip, permanent pout.
We love it.
With a long
I'm living for the eye.
Oh, say again?
Your eyeshadow, I'm living. It's so cute.
Thank you.
Love it.
Well, that is our time for today on Pressed and Pressing. Thank you again, Mama D, for coming and chatting with us and doing some makeup.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Of course, we will probably see you again in the future. Don't forget to be the person that you are and be the person that you are going to be. Follow me on my social media at Miss Cypressed. Make sure to leave a like and a follow below, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.